takes home his third MVP award. In the National League, shocker. I was stunned by this. Unanimous, Shohei Ohtani. That's how he wins MVP awards. Shohei gets it done. His fourth. That is now second most all time, second only to Barry Bonds with 7. We'll talk more about him later in the show, but this was one there was no conversation. There was no discussion. Kyle Schwarber was a feel-good story at different points. Juan Soto had a great first year in Flushing, but in the end, Ohtani, being the unicorn that he is, prevails once again.
My goodness, we're running out of superlatives. I don't know what else there is to say other than this young man is the best athlete I've probably ever laid my eyes on. When you see what he does pitching, and it's something that we did, me and Ryan, understand what that day looks like and how tough it is to succeed at the big league level. When you also spend 50% of your time or more hitting, and you're the best hitter in the league. If he doesn't pitch an inning this year, he's still the MVP of the league. When he didn't have to pitch and was rehabbing from Tommy John last year, he did something in the game offensively we'd never seen in 50-50. Tell you this, we're buddies with Mark DeRosa around here, and he's talking a lot of Team USA. What they have over in Japan right now and sending these guys over here looking the way Ohtani, Yamamoto, Sasaki, Imanaga could go on and on. You better look out for Team Japan come March.
That second line right there, fourth unanimous. He's the only guy to ever play this sport with multiple unanimous wins. He's done it now in both the American League and the National League. And something that you guys touched on when we were getting ready for this show is that last year when he won the MVP, he did it while rehabbing the elbow injury.
I couldn't quite comprehend it. You're coming back from a major surgery, especially, TJ, and you're hitting at that level, not to mention the fact that, what did you do last offseason leading into last year? You knew he wasn't going to be on the mound, so what does he do? Gets a sprint coach, and he gets all of a sudden the stolen bags, gets 50 plus. Then this year comes into it, and you know what, too? Midway through this season, if you remember, when he was sort of slow playing, the pitch and coming back, he had this absolutely dialed in, planned out, being ready to be primed for. We talked about the postseason with some of these players, whether it be Cal Raleigh, Aaron Judge. What about some of the performances he put up? But just the fact he can do it on the mound, averaging one of the highest fastballs in the game, the way he did that, and still putting up 50-plus home runs. That's unbelievable.
Imagine the separation. I think the separation would be judge-like. When we talk about offensively, if Shohei Ohtani was only an offensive player, I think he would be as separate as Judge is from the rest of the class offensively, and I think that's same on pitching. If he was to only pitch, I think he would separate himself and just stack up Cy Youngs.
How about the NLCS clincher against the Brewers? 3 home runs, 10 strikeouts, something we'll never see again. Now, we've been doing the show a little bit now. I like putting together these boards. It's just something that I enjoy. This is something that struck me, right? So we now have 3 active guys that have won at least 3 MVPs. Mike Trout, we're going back all the way to 2016. Judge and Ohtani over the last 5 seasons. You look at the numbers, you look at the columns, and the first thing that jumped out to me, look at the disparity in home runs and RBIs for the Yankees captain.
Yeah, how about that? Aaron Judge, man. And again, you go to this, and I said this earlier on, when you are his size, his stature, and you can just have that easy swing and catch that 100 at the top of the strike zone, it's just so easy, especially in today's game, to lean into, you know what, I'm going to be an on-base machine, and I'm going to hit dingers. And he said it again, I love what he said, man, just pride himself on the fact he's a batting champion to go along with some of those.
Can you imagine being at the general manager's meetings right now and knowing you have this guy on your team and nobody else in the league has any kind of production on paper, like you know what you should get in 26? That's who Aaron Judge and Shohei Ohtani are.
We've got your MVPs in both leagues. Congratulations to Aaron Judge, 2nd straight and 3rd in the last 4 seasons. He wins the batting title, 331, 53 homers, and 114 runs batted in. Just unbelievable what he was able to do, and he did fight through that injury to his elbow, which limited him to DHing duty. But what we saw as we got word about this is how close the vote was in the end. The talk all season, especially in the second half. Judge against Raleigh, and Cal came real close.
Yeah, he did, and I'm not going to lie, I was on the Cal Raleigh train, for multiple reasons. Like a lot of former players were in regards to the fact what he's doing behind the plate. But look, when you look at Aaron Judge and look at the offensive numbers, and when you put them side by side, man, it really just jumps off the page, especially, too, when you're talking 100-plus points in all these different categories. But, again, just before we do get to Aaron Judge, man, you got to give it up for Cal Raleigh. What a historical year.
No doubt about it, right? You talked about it yesterday, Peeves, what he's got to do just to prepare 1 hour with the hitters, 1 hour with the pitchers, full load on his plate, and he came oh so close to winning MVP.
Well, yeah, you're sitting here surrounded by two pitchers who understand the utmost importance of the catcher position, who was our battery mate getting us through games. So to have that perspective, we certainly bridge the gap. But it comes down to Aaron Judge being too good offensively. He is so much better than even the next best in the league that it warrants this type of success and awards. So Aaron Judge is what Sean Casey said, the complete hitter. He hits for power, and we know that, but he led the league in batting. The most complete hitter we have in the league today is Aaron Judge, MVP and well-deserved.
Greg, I love the fact too. I mean, he said he prides himself on being that complete hitter too. It's easy when you're his stature, his size, to say, you know what, I'm just going to lean heavily into, you know, the power numbers. But the fact he's hitting winning batting titles too, there was just too much of a gap, in my opinion, looking at this. Because I said it all year long, covering the Mariners. Okay, if Cal can get to X amount of home runs, if he can, you know, you kept trying to justify, but man, just some of the offensive numbers, you just can't look past that.
My hat's off to the writers for it being that close, because offensively, in the metrics that we had around Judge, I didn't know that we would truly appreciate the catcher position as we have, but a bunch of senior writers and some new writers seem to appreciate that really tight draw.
2025年の MLB シーズンが幕を閉じようとしている今、私たちは一つの時代を見届けたと言っても過言ではありません。その中心に立っていたのは、やはり翔平大谷という存在でした。3度目の MVP、しかもナショナルリーグでの栄冠、さらに前例のない複数回の全会一致 MVP。この数字だけで、彼がどれほど歴史の中心にいるかがわかります。彼が放つ一打は、観客の心を震わせ、彼が投げる一球は対戦打者の膝を震え上がらせる。その力強さと優雅さ、そして不可能を可能にしてしまう魔法のような才能、その全てが今存在している。大谷がフィールドに立つだけで、球場の空気は変わる。世界中のカメラが彼を追い、アメリカの解説者が語彙を失い、そして日本のファンは胸を張り、誇りを抱く。彼はただの野球選手ではありません。彼は日本という国が世界に証明した努力、誠実、才能の象徴。野球というスポーツを超え、文化や国境さえも超えて、彼は新しい価値観を作り出しました。思い返せば、トミー・ジョン手術のリハビリをしながら MVP を勝ち取った年もあれば、すべての投手を圧倒しながら、ホームラン王争いにも参加した年もあり、今季は完全復活し、打者としても投手としてもトップクラスの数字を積み上げ、そしてついに3度目の MVP。これは奇跡ではありません。これは積み重ねです。才能に裏付けられた努力、努力に支えられた精神、そして精神によって守られた誠実さ。翔平大谷、彼の名前が発表されるたびに、世界は驚き、アメリカは尊敬し、そして日本は誇りに震えるのです。しかし、今季はもう一つ忘れてはいけない名前があります。アメリカンリーグ MVP、アーロン・ジャッジ。彼もまた史上最高級の選手の一人。3度目の受賞、そして首位打者に、ホームラン、そして打点。巨体に似合わぬ繊細さと、鋭い選球眼。アメリカを代表するスーパースターとして、彼もまた歴史に名を残しました。しかし、その MLB の最高峰の舞台で、リーグ側の頂点に立ったのは、やはり日本の誇り、翔平大谷。アーロン・ジャッジがアメリカの象徴なら、翔平大谷は世界の象徴、そして日本の未来そのものです。この2人がそれぞれのリーグで MVP を獲得した2025年、野球の歴史はまた一つ進化しました。しかし、その中心で世界を動かしたのは、間違いなく、日本の若き天才の姿でした。彼は言葉で語るよりも、結果で語る、数字で語る、そして、野球という芸術そのもので語る。日本人は世界のトップに立てる。そう証明し続けるのが、翔平大谷という存在です。3度目の MVP。これで終わりではありません。彼の物語はこれからも続きます。むしろまた新しい章が始まったと言うべきでしょう。未来の野球を変える男。人々の価値観を塗り替える男。そして日本の誇りを世界に広め続ける。唯一無二の存在。翔平大谷。彼こそが、2025年 MLB が世界に与えた最大のギフトです。